There's something kind of funny about people who line up outside a store at 3 in the morning for a toy. You might know someone who does this. Maybe you've been one yourself. They might be refreshing the restock page at midnight. They've got alerts set for the next drop, and they can tell you the exact odds of pulling the rare one. It might seem harmless at first. I mean, it's just a hobby, right? What's the harm in collecting something that you love? But when you take a look closer, there's a deeper story here. One about consumerism, overconsumption, and how a fun little hobby can quietly drain your bank account while making you feel like it's all just for joy. Because somewhere along the way, the internet figured out how to turn the things we love into the things that empty our wallets. And most of us never even noticed it happen. And here's the thing, hobbies used to be simple. You liked the thing, so you did the thing, and that was it. It might be knitting, collecting stamps, building model kits in the garage, and you did it because it felt good, and that was the whole reason. There was no other secondary reason. But a hobby has become a lot more than just a hobby. For a lot of people, it's become who they are and their identity. It's not just something that they simply do or they do because they love it. Whether it's the shelf full of blind box figures, the binder of graded cards, the closet of limited edition sneakers that have never touched the ground. And none of this is cheap. What starts out as one little figure becomes an entire collection. One pack becomes a weekly habit, and another drop becomes a calendar you plan your whole month around. And you are buying into a lifestyle, and that lifestyle has a price tag most people never actually add up and actually can't even afford. So let's add it up. And let's take blind boxes because they are the perfect example. There are so many different blind boxes now, but the most recognizable one is probably Labubu. A single Labubu blind box runs somewhere between $15 and $30. And it doesn't sound like much, but here's the trick. You don't know which one you're getting until you actually open it. So you don't buy one, you buy 6, chasing the one you actually want. A full set can run you over $100, and the rare secret figure, those are pulled at odds at around 1 in 72. And this isn't some small niche thing. The global collectibles market is now worth somewhere around $600 billion, billion with a B. And Mart, the company behind Labubu, saw its revenue double in 2024 to around $2 billion. Then nearly matched that again in just the first half of 2025, up around 200% year over year with profit nearly 400%. And the reason it's such a money machine is the blind box itself, and the gross margin sits around 67%. That's luxury handbag territory for a vinyl figure that costs a couple bucks to make. And everyone's favorite, Pokémon, is the same story at a much wilder scale. The Pokémon company printed over 10 billion cards in a single recent year. A perfect rated PSA 10 card resells for roughly 5 times what the card sells for ungraded. Because it didn't used to happen, or at least not this fast. It used to go like this. Some niche thing existed. A small group of people loved it, and they had their own little world, their own little thing, their own community, and you'd only find out about it by word of mouth or stumbling into it. And it could stay that way for years. It was quiet, affordable, and more importantly, it was yours. And then social media flattened all of that. Now just one viral video can drag a niche into the spotlight overnight. A celebrity clips a Labubu on her bag, and within weeks, there are lines around the block on 3 continents. And the algorithm doesn't care that this thing used to belong to a small community of people who loved it. And the second something goes viral, the vultures and resellers show up. Scalpers buy out the entire stock and resell it at quadruple the price. And brands crank up the artificial scarcity because they have learned that sold out sells more than in stock. And the regular person who just thought the thing looked cool, they are now priced out or stuck gambling on a blind box or refreshing a website at 3 a.m. The hobby hasn't really disappeared. It just stopped being a hobby and turned into a market. It's more about the dollars behind all of this. Because in this market, hobbyists are more of just another customer. None of it would work if it weren't tapping into something much bigger. We stopped buying things for what they do and started buying them for what they say about us. Just think about it. The Labubu on your bag isn't really there to be a toy. It's more of a statement piece. It's a signal that says and tells people that you are playful and you have taste and you have plugged into what's cool right now. And it's the same for the binder of cards or the wall of sneakers. None of that is about the object anymore. It's about being the kind of person that just has something. So when you are collecting a Pokemon card or Labubu, you are more buying a piece of your own identity. And that is the most expensive trap there is. A toaster is a one-time purchase because a toaster does a job and then the job is done. But this whole other space we're in now, there's always a new drop, a new series, a new release to prove you're still that person who has the latest and greatest thing. And these companies are selling you a chance and an opportunity for people to buy a subscription to a version of yourself and to just really buy your identity. When your identity is wrapped in what you own, you lose the ability to say no. Because skipping the next drop, it feels more like betraying who you are. And you get stuck in this cycle, and that's how someone ends up hundreds or even thousands of dollars in credit card debt for plastic. And the scary thing is, they genuinely think that there is no other choice. Because these brands have convinced you, without their product, you are nothing. And beyond that, there's also of course nostalgia. So many of these hobbies reach straight back into your childhood. The toys, the cards, the rush of opening something when you don't know what's inside. And when adult life feels overwhelming, that little hit of joy feels like coming home. Because for $5 or even $10, they are selling you a feeling you've been chasing since you were 10. Because the blind box runs on the exact same psychology as a slot machine. You open one, it's not the one you wanted, and your brain goes, well, it probably won't be the same one twice, right? The odds have to even out, except they don't. The next box has exact same odds as the last one. And lastly, there's social media. All your favorite influencers posting hauls, unboxings, the rare pull, the perfect shelf, which only makes you feel like being all in is normal. And perhaps the most important thing with all of this is that a lot of people aren't paying for this out of spare cash. Around 58% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and the average household is carrying over $6,000 in credit card debt. So when someone drops a few $100s a month on cards or figures, that's often money that doesn't even exist yet. And buy now pay later apps have made it frictionless to spend money you don't even have. 4 easy payments on a toy is painless, right up until you do miss one. But the justification I hear the most is that it's an investment, and that these will hold their value. And that is the exact mentality that happens time and time again. It happened with Beanie Babies in 1999, sealing them in plastic for a retirement that never came. Mart itself, the Labubu company, was worth a fortune at its peak, and then the hype cooled down. And by early 2026, it had lost $33 billion in market value. The hype and excitement always outruns the thing, because your little figurine is worth exactly what the next person will pay for it. But the thing is, the next person eventually stops showing up. So what can you do with all of this? I'm not here to tell you to quit your hobby, just to take the power back from the part of it that was designed to use you. Set a hard monthly number and decide it when your brain is calm, not at 2 a.m. during a restock when the dopamine is driving. And fit the hobby inside your wants budget, and don't let it bleed into your rent or savings. And skip the blind box gamble when you can. If there's one specific figure you want, you just buy that exact one secondhand, because the blind box is the most expensive possible way to get a specific thing. That $100 a month you spend on packs, dropped into a basic index fund at the historical 7% is over $50,000 in 20 years. One version sits on a shelf and loses value, and the other quietly becomes a down payment. And unlike the secret Labubu, those odds are actually in your favor. And none of this means you have to give up the things you love. You can collect, and most importantly, you can enjoy it. And the goal was never to stop having fun, it's to make sure that the fun is actually yours and not just something being sold back to you at a markup. Because at the end of the day, these companies and businesses, they all want your hard-earned money. They are powerful, emotional, and incredibly good at what they do, but it's still a business, and they don't care about you or your happiness, only for as long as it keeps the revenue coming in. And you don't owe them your paycheck or your identity or your peace of mind. So find that balance between buying the things that bring you joy and happiness in your life and throwing away your savings for something that you want just because everyone else seems to want it too. So ask yourself, honestly, do you actually love the thing, Or do you just love who you get to be when you're holding it? Because that's what all of this is really about. And it comes down to capitalism, consumerism, and overconsumption, all dressed in a cute little hobby. And that is it. Let me know what you think about the whole collecting craze and the consumer culture we are living in. The one quietly draining our lives and our wallets in the comments below. And if you enjoy videos like this blend of consumerism, pop culture, and finance, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. Thank you very much for watching. And if we zoom out, it's not just blend boxes and trading cards. This whole modern world is built to lure us in with little hits of dopamine. So check out the next video on how every single year, thousands of Disney adults spend money that they don't have, all for the sake of nostalgia and short-term happiness.